Hey everyone, Dr. Dan here with Healthcare Evolution. So, something I wanted to talk to you today about was kind of this idea between values versus goals and how we can use our values to actually set better goals. So, values are things that are important to us. They're innately ingrained in each and every single one of us, and we develop them at a young age from our parents, from society, from culture. We can also adopt them as we kind of go throughout our lives. In general, I would argue that we all have a very core set of values that doesn't really change over the course of our lives, but can be evolved and can be adapted in some certain ways. But values essentially are what drive our behaviors and our beliefs. They essentially set the direction for us in our lives and how we run our lives, and they're things that are very important to us. So, for example, values are things like, I value my family. I value being a vegetarian. I value my health. I value being a runner. These are all things that are important to you that are ultimately going to help dictate your attitudes, behaviors, and beliefs. And they make you you. Like I said, they set a direction along your journey and your journey through life. Goals, on the other hand, tend to be finite. They're targets, they're destinations along this journey through life, okay? Which are good. We need goals in order to accomplish and get to the things that we want to get to. However, a lot of people will set very finite goals that aren't aligned with their values. So, for example, the classic one I always see in clinic is people will come to me and say, I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay, well, that's great. Lots of people have set goals like that before. They've done well. They've lost the weight. No problem there. But it always happens is they put the blinders on and they do everything that is necessary in order to lose that 20 pounds. So they don't have that cookie in the lunchroom at work. They don't have that extra glass of wine. They start going to the gym. They start packing their lunch. They start doing all of these big, healthy behavioral changes that ultimately will get them to their goal of losing 20 pounds. But then they lose the 20 pounds and it becomes a question of, well, now what? Well, I lost the 20 pounds, so I can have that cookie in the lunchroom. Well, I lost 20 pounds. I can have that extra glass of wine because I deserve it. I lost 20 pounds. And what ends up happening is they end up reverting back to their old lifestyle, their old behaviors, and putting the weight back on, and then some in some cases. And so that's because they haven't properly aligned that goal with the direction of their values. So they haven't properly instilled it in, and ultimately, like I said, they revert back to their old ways, their old habits, and they put the weight back on. So what we want to do with values is we kind of want to look at what's the direction that we're going in and how can we set specific destinations and goals along that direction. And we need to reframe and rethink about how we're thinking about these goals. So for example, instead of saying I want to lose 20 pounds, why not, I want to lose weight and I want to be healthier so that I can keep up with my grandkids. I want to lose weight and be healthier so I have less pain in my knees. I want to lose weight and I want to be healthier so that I can maybe come off some of my medications because that's something that's important to me. Do you kind of notice the difference there when we kind of reframe things a little bit closer to our values? What we've essentially done is we've still set a goal, which, I want to lose 20 pounds, can still be aligned with that. But we've thought about the goal in a different sense, and we've put it that it aligns with our values. So, for example, I want to lose weight and be healthier so I can keep up with my grandkids. Well, if your family is something that you value and something that is important to you, losing weight and doing healthier changes is ultimately going to lead you in that right direction. And so we can kind of set little goals along that pathway to work in that direction of your value and what's important to you with respect to your family. And so what happens is that when you start achieving and working along this journey and achieving those specific destinations and targets and goals, what ultimately happens is we don't get this sense of, well, now what? It's kind of like, okay, we've accomplished one goal. Fantastic. Let's keep moving on. We've got the next destination to get to. We've got the next destination to get to. And ultimately, you're continually striving towards that value and in that direction that is important to you and that you value. And this helps us to kind of sustain the behavioral changes that we've made and not revert back to our old habits and our old ways. So hopefully that all makes sense, guys, when looking at kind of values and how we can use them to set our goals. I use it a lot with my clients, a lot with my patients, and it's very, very beneficial. We'll get into some more about just how you figure out what your values are and how you actually set goals that are going to be aligned with your values, but just a little bit of food for thought to kind of think about it in a little bit of a different way. We have a blog post up on this on our website, healthcareevolve.ca. Check it out to get more info, more information in that respect of things. And please feel free to share it with your friends, family. And like I said, subscribe to our email list. It's right on our website, healthcareevolve.ca. And you can get the latest updates, blog posts, videos, etc. Any news that we got coming out of Healthcare Evolution will be sent to you on a weekly basis, so you're constantly up to date. Also, follow us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. Would be happy to hear from you guys. And like I said, keep up with all the data, knowledge, and content. And if there's any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. And yeah, I hope everyone has a wonderful day.